Welcome to your favorite show. Today we'll be talking about poops, burp, and food. Don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about climate change. Believe it or not, beef cattle is one of the biggest contributors. Don't believe me? Watch the next video.
Among human activities, there is one that contributes to climate change more than planes, transports, and cars altogether. This is food production. The graph shows that 28% of carbon equivalent emissions come from food, including its transportation, production, and refrigeration. With population increase predicted to 9.7 billion, your individual food choices matters and have a huge impact. The amount of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere keep rising dramatically. Since 1950, our consumption per person of meat has more than doubled. Numerous mitigation strategies have been proposed to address other greenhouse gas emission sectors, but there is a big elephant in the room without a mitigation strategy. How can we reduce our CO2 footprint? Buy local products, eat in season, and reduce meat consumption.
Interesting, right? But what do people eat in their everyday life?
Salad.
Eating a lot.
A sandwich.
Salad and either a bit of salmon.
One protein and vegetable.
Or leftover dinner.
Veggies and meat.
So, people do eat a lot. This is clear. But what about the emissions generated by transportation and refrigeration? Do people eat in season and source their food locally? Let's find out.
Yes.
Always.
A little.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, because they are cheap.
Because that's when they are the cheapest in the supermarket, right? Around 80%.
Closer to about 60%.
I would think about 75%.
75%.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Meat minimalist, vegetarian, or vegan? How many times a week do people eat meat?
4 times a week on average.
Say 3. So maybe 1 to 2 times.
8.
8.
Twice a week, maybe?
Twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
As much as 6 kilograms of feed and 20,000 liters of water are required to produce just 1 kilogram of meat. Everyone knows that a lot of resources go into our food, but do we consider our carbon footprint when shopping?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
No.
I have no idea what is then, sorry.
No, but I am conscious of shopping bags.
I would if it was easily accessible. But it's not, right? Because you can, when you go and you buy something, you don't see what's the carbon footprint of what you're buying.
Hola, hubby, cooking meat again?
Yes, amigo. It's for my tacos.
But you eat tacos every day.
So what? I'm Mexican. Leave me alone.
You should think about reducing your meat consumption. It's bad for the environment.
Go away if you don't want any tacos.
Or would you at least consider having 1 day a week without meat?
Will you consider not breathing 1 day a week? Go away and bother someone else. Such an irresponsible man. How can someone like him become a more conscious eater? Let's see what the experts have to say.
It's really important, recognising that food is one of the largest contributors to carbon emissions.
Well, eating in season makes so much sense when you think about it. Typically, the produce in season is abundant, so there's plenty of it around, which means that it's relatively inexpensive and it's fresh.
Trying to buy food that is much less carbon intensive in terms of methods of production, how far your food has travelled.
90% of bananas you'll find in supermarkets are from North Queensland. The distance to North Queensland is about 2,400 or 2,600 kilometres. So we calculated that if you buy about a kilo of bananas a week, then to offset the carbon emissions that those bananas cause in terms of transport, you have to have 2 mature trees a year. I think it's about 2.5 million households in Sydney. Yeah, that means 5 million trees a year. People really don't stop and think where is this coming from.
Yeah, read your labels. Definitely read your labels. Introducing more perennial vegetables into our diets through growing them ourselves or buying them from local markets.
So really around trying to eat as much locally grown food as we possibly can, I think is really one of the most important factors. One of the biggest things is really around how much meat we eat.
There's the direct emissions, which is actually methane, and that mainly comes from the enteric fermentation which occurs within ruminants. They burp out a lot of methane, and because you're talking about such large amounts of animals, the combination of all these burps into the atmosphere is actually a very serious source of methane. Beyond that, you have indirect measures, so things like manure, which when it oxidizes, it releases methane again into the atmosphere. The land required to produce animals, livestock, leads to deforestation. I can't think of a single ethical reason to eat meat unless you have to.
The production of just 1 kilogram of meat represents more than 50 kilograms of CO2. Also, every day, a cow produces 55 kilos of poop. You don't have to become a vegetarian to make a difference. You can contribute in many ways. Significant reduction in meat consumption, purchasing locally, and eating in season will help to make a difference for the environment, world hunger, and climate change. Thank you very much for watching us, and see you next week.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me.